I know. I know. Y'all been blowing up my Instagram, telling me.
Brandon, where is the reactions? Where are you going to do scary reactions back again? You don't have a lot no more.
I know. So this 2026, we are reacting a lot. I love playing scary games. I love them. I love playing games. I love dropping some videos with gaming and stuff. I have to do scary reactions. I do this. That's why I got way more popular first, reacting to scary videos, because people loved my reaction when I got to the when I was like reacting to scary videos and doing mobile scary games. Do y'all want me to bring the mobile scary games back? Tell me in the comments if this video gets 100 likes, or I don't know. I'll say like 60 plus likes. If this video gets 60 or plus likes, I will bring back mobile games, scary mobile games. But yeah, like the video, subscribe, and let's get into the scary reactions. And you know what I'm gonna do? I don't know. I wanna do old times, you know. From reacting, I want to do some old times. I want to put the videos on this side. Y'all can see me and see the video. I want to see that one. I want to do that. The old times, you know. It makes me. I like that because I like to watch Blast HD. Shout out to that dude, bro. He's funny as hell. I like when he do it on the side, so I'm gonna bring that back what I used to do. You guys know what I mean? Let's do the 3 disturbing childhood memory horror stories. Hey, tell me your childhood horror memory. Tell me your childhood memory. My childhood memory. What the fuck? My childhood memory horror, I would say, damn, I have a lot. I remember the one time that I was in the house by myself and I thought I heard something and I had to stay under the covers. I was so scared. But I would say the biggest one, when me and my friends went into the woods the one time, this one I was like 13, maybe like 12. When we went to the woods the one time and we seen this abandoned building right there, we didn't want to go in it, but we got close to it and we heard somebody in there and we just dipped off. That scared the living fuck out of me. But that's not a really big thing. But tell me y'all childhood memory horror story in the comments. Oh shit. Be likey. Story 1.
When I was about 9 years old, I lived with my mom and little sister in a small house in a quiet town. The street was mostly safe, and kids would ride their bikes outside in the summer. But even back then, there were things that didn't feel right about the house. My mom used to say it was old, and old houses make noises. But some of the things I remember from that time didn't sound like house noises. They sound like something else. Something I still don't really know how to explain. The first thing started one night when I couldn't sleep. I was lying in my bed with a blanket pulled up to my chin, staring at the little glow-in-the-dark stars on my ceiling. My room wasn't very big, just a bed, a dresser, and a toy chest near the window. I remember looking at the shadows on the wall from the trees outside. The branches swayed whenever the wind blew, and I told myself that's what I was seeing. But then I noticed one shadow wasn't moving like the others. It was in the corner, down low near my toy chest. At first, I thought it was a pile of clothes or one of my big stuffed animals.
I don't care what it is, my nigga. I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna count with you. There's sometimes when I'm sleeping at night and I will just open my eyes, right? And my chair, the chair that I'm sitting in right now, will be like over there and it's dark in my room. It will be over there and will scare me, right? I ain't gonna count with you. There's 2 times that I threw something at it and I forgot it was my chair. Or I almost, but I don't care. I will be scared if I see something in the corner and my chair was not over there and I see something in the corner. I'm running out, bro. Oh my gosh.
I almost laughed at myself because I thought I was just being a scared kid, but then I blinked and the shadow was gone. I remember feeling cold.
That shit, the Flash. Y'all hear that? The nigga said he blinked and that shit was gone. Nigga, are you haunted by the Flash, Sonic, or Quicksilver? Which one are you getting haunted? Cause that shit, what?
My big stuffed animals. I almost laughed at myself because I thought I was just being a scared kid, but then I blinked and the shadow was gone. I remember feeling cold, like the kind of cold that comes from the inside of your body, not the air. I pulled the blanket over my head and fell asleep. The next morning, I didn't even think about it until I saw my toy chest. It was standing open, like someone had been looking inside. I never left it open because my mom would yell if toys spilled out. I closed it and didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything? I'd rather get my ass whooped and my parents blame me for it. I'm telling, fast as fuck. I'd rather get my ass whooped or screamed at more than that, nigga. I'd rather sleep in my mom's room or something more than that if I was his age.
A few weeks later, my sister, who was only 5, told my mom she didn't like the man in the closet. I basically froze when she said it because she said it so casually, as if it were just a fact.
If I push play, right, and the parents don't grab their fucking kids, if the parents don't do 2 things, the second thing I would not do, but you will have to sometimes do it, okay? You have to sometimes, you know. But the first thing, grab your kids and get the fuck out of there, okay? The second thing, go check the closet and see what the hell she's talking about. If something looks weird or is different or anything, or if the person's still in that closet, get the fuck out of there.
My mom brushed it off and said little kids imagine things, but I saw my sister's face. My mom brushed it off and said little kids imagine things, but I saw my sister's face.
I would have punched the fuck out of them. Like, bitch, you better listen to me. There's a nigga in my closet. Like, I understand. We all know kids got a good imagination. Kids do. But let's be honest. Kids are more honest more than adults. So when I'm saying like that, I'm saying like if something's really is creepy, they're more honest for that. Just saying. If they could see it and they're telling us that, oh, there's a man in the closet, there's a man in the... 2 things. They the only can see it, or there's really a man in that fucking closet. So, get your kids out of there. Like,
and I could tell she wasn't making it up. She said he would stand in the closet at night and whisper, but she couldn't hear the words. My mom tucked her in that night and said a prayer with her, but she didn't check the closet. Later that night, I woke up because I heard something dragging across my floor, like someone pulling their nails across the wood. I was too scared to move, but the sound stopped right by my bed. I was sure if I looked over the side, I'd see something staring up at me. I just froze there, clutching the blanket until I fell asleep again. The next morning, there were long scratches on the floor right by the side.
Oh, hell no. If your mom... If your mom don't believe you for this shit, bro, you just got run away. I'm sorry. I would have ran away. Fuck that family. Fuck that family, bro. Fuck that family, bro. I would have ran away, bro. Word to bro. Bro, look at that. Oh no. I would have shit
in my bed. They were fresh, like someone had carved into the wood. I remember running to show my mom, but she got angry. She said I must have been playing with something sharp or dragging furniture.
How old is this boy again? I totally forgot how old this nigga is now. Why would he be playing with a sharp object? Because if he was playing with a sharp object, you're not a great parent then. Because why the fuck is a sharp object is even in his room? You know what I'm saying? Maybe because I don't have a lot of kids. I only got one, you know. Maybe because I just don't have a lot of kids. But she only got 2 kids. 2 kids.
I swore I hadn't, but she didn't believe me. After that, the nights got worse. I would hear faint whispers, almost like a radio on low volume, and it would come from my closet. Sometimes my sister would cry in her room, and when I ran in, she would be pointing at the corner, saying, "He's there, he's there." I never saw him, but I believed her. You know when someone's watching you and the hairs on your arms stand up? That's how it felt. The scariest night was in the middle of winter. I woke up and saw my bedroom door was open, even though I always shut it tight. I could see the hallway light because my mom left one on for us at night. But then, as I watched, the light in the hall went out. I thought maybe the bulb turned out. Then I heard footsteps coming down the hall. They stopped outside my door. I wanted to scream for my mom, but nothing came out.
Fuck that shit. I'm gonna say this again. I don't know how old the kid is, but me, if it's dark as hell in the hallway, my door wide open, but it's dark as hell in the hallway, and I hear footsteps coming up to my door and just stop, I don't care. I'm sorry, parents. You shouldn't have been doing that. Then, if it's mom, dad walking up to the sister, I don't care. You should say something before you. Cause hey, I'm scared. No, but let me be truthful. Let me be truthful. That is scary for real. I would have shit myself, bro. There's no way something in the hallway, wherever was in the hallway, I would have jumped out that window. If whatever window he got, I'm jumping right out that way. I don't care how high I am, bro.
The door creaked, and I saw a tall, dark shape lean in, just its head poking into the room. I shut.
Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Holy fuck! What the fuck is that? Daddy, chill. Daddy, chill. Like, go somewhere. Daddy, chill. Like, look at him. He's right there. It's really dark a little bit, but you can see a little bit of that head right there. Oh my gosh, bro. I would have shit myself. I would have been scared looking. You don't know how hard I would be screaming. Bro, what the fuck is that?
My eyes and pretended to be asleep.
No.
When I opened them again, the door was closed and I was alone. In the morning, I asked my mom if she had come into my room. She said no, she had been asleep all night. My sister said she saw the man again standing.
They don't have a dad? Damn, they don't have a dad. Damn. That's so sad, damn.
By her bed. We told my mom together, and she finally looked worried. She lit a candle and said a prayer in each room of the house. Things were quiet for a little while after that, but it didn't last. One afternoon, I came home from school before my mom. I was sitting on the couch doing homework when I heard the sound of the toy chest in my room slam shut. The thing is, nobody else was home. I hoped it was just the wind, but when I walked down the hall, I saw my bedroom door was wide open. My toy chest was closed, but all my toys were scattered on the floor like someone had dumped them out. I backed away and waited outside until my mom came home. When I told her, she still didn't believe me and said the cat knocked things over.
Now y'all got a cat? Where the fuck did this cat come from?
Years later, after we moved out, I asked my mom if she ever experienced anything in that house. She hesitated, then said yes. She said sometimes she would wake up and see a shadow standing in her doorway. She said she never told us because she didn't want to scare us, but she admitted she believed there was something wrong with that house.
So, okay, let me rewind this. That's what you're telling me all the time that your kids was telling you they seen somebody. There was somebody in the closet. Somebody fucked up my floor, scratched my floor. They opened my chest. Somebody put their head and was watching me while I was asleep last night. And you was feeling the same thing and seeing the same figure and shit. But you was still telling your kids, don't worry, it was your fault. And then, second, y'all still live in the fucking same house. See, I would have let it slide if she lied to the kids and was like, oh, maybe that's you, blah, 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 but still got out of there. You know what I'm saying? I would have let it slide if that happened. But no. You lied to the kids. Then you stay at the house still, live there still. Then left one of your kids home alone. See, you see now why I'm not on her side no more now. She fucked it up now. Bad parenting.
She said she thought it was a man, someone who used to live there. She never said much more.
Yes, used to live there. If he did. Nigga, he don't live here no more. We do. So now he's trespassing. Get the fuck off our lawn. Get the fuck out of our house. Bro.
More, but I know what I saw, and I know what my sister saw too. Even now, as an adult, when I think about that time, I feel sick in my stomach. It wasn't imagination. It was something real, and it wanted us to know it was there. Sometimes late at night when I can't sleep, I still hear the sound of nails dragging across the floor.
Story 2.
When I was 10 years old, my family moved into a bigger house because my mom had just gotten remarried and we needed more space.
Okay.
The house was nice, newer than the one we lived in before, and it was in a quiet neighborhood with a lot of trees. I thought I would be happy there. At first, everything seemed normal, but then little things started happening that made me feel like the house wasn't right. My bedroom was at the end of the hall. It had 2 big windows that faced the backyard and a closet that was deeper than the one I had before. I liked it, until the first night I slept there. I woke up around midnight because I heard something moving in the closet. It wasn't loud, just soft shuffling like clothes being brushed against. I stared at the closet and told myself it was just the house settling. I know it sounds cliche, but most people, even as children, would assume small sounds coming from here and there in a house are just typical house noises that you hear every day.
Facts.
But then I saw the door move. It didn't swing open, but it shivered like someone had lightly pressed on it from the inside. I wanted to run to my mom's room, but I was frozen. I stayed that way until I fell back asleep, still staring at the closet. The next morning, the closet door was cracked open just a little, even though I had shut it tight. I asked my mom if she had gone in there, and she said no. She said maybe the air vent pushed it, but I knew it wasn't the air vents. The nights after that got worse. I started hearing tapping on the window glass.
These parents are
At first, I thought it was tree branches, but when I looked...
I ain't gonna count. Wait, I'm sorry. Sometimes parents be having the dumbest ass lies to lie to kids. Sometimes. Why would an air vent? Like, name... If somebody in the comments, it never happened to me. I never seen an air vent could push the fucking closet door open. Hey, tell me. I maybe just never got the right house that could have a strong ass air vent like that. Maybe. I
glass. At first, I thought it was tree branches, but when I looked, there were no branches near the window. The tapping would go on for minutes, and when I pulled the blanket over my head, it would stop. I tried to ignore it until one night I finally peeked out. I saw a pale hand pressed against the window. It was on the outside, but the window was on the second floor, way too high for anyone to reach without a ladder. The hand stayed there for a long time, just pressed, without moving. Then it slid down slowly and disappeared. I didn't sleep at all that night. I told my mom,
Freaky ass head.
and she started
That's
cracking
sad.
up laughing when I told her. She didn't believe
They said the mom started laughing? What?
it slid down slowly and disappeared. I didn't sleep at all that night. I told my mom, and she started cracking up laughing when I told her.
You're telling me the mom start laughing. What part of his story was so funny to laugh at? It's crazy.
She didn't believe me for a second. When she saw that I wasn't just saying it as a prank or a joke, she leaned more into trying to convince me that I was probably in a half-asleep state and seeing things from my dream, but I knew that was a load of horseshit. My stepdad didn't believe me either. He said I was making it up for attention, and he also got a laugh out of it. But
sometimes stepdads are a piece of shit sometimes. That nigga, why would I want attention from your ass? You know what I mean? I would have told him that. I would have been like, nigga, why would I want attention from you? Then I'm serious.
I started noticing he kept the hallway light on at night, so maybe he didn't feel as safe as he pretended. A month later, my little brother, who was 4, started talking about the white lady. He would say she came into his room and sat on his bed. My mom thought it was just his imagination.
I hope these kids are not black. I'm just saying. I know it's crazy to pause on that one. I just hope these kids are not black, because if they was black, I understand why that kid would be scared of that white lady. Like, I will understand. Karens. Hey. But I feel like they're white.
But one night, I heard him screaming. I ran in and saw him curled up under his blanket crying. When he finally calmed down, he said the white lady had been standing by his door, just staring at him. He said her eyes were all black. I believed him because of what I had seen at my window. I started sleeping with the blanket over my head every night, but that didn't stop the
Y'all sleep
dreams.
together, Paul.
I began to dream of the white lady too. She would stand in the corner of my room and whisper my name. Her voice was dry, like leaves rubbing together. Sometimes I would wake up and still hear it. Faint but definitely real.
Be like, bitch, you need some water.
One night I
Bitch,
woke
you
up.
Like, bitch, you need some water. Bitch, like, damn, your fucking voice, damn, like, I'm sorry.
Still hear it. Faint but definitely real. One night I woke up and saw her standing at the foot of my bed. She was taller.
That's her? That's her? See, that dude looks scary. Oh, shit, she's tall as fuck, too. That bitch is Victor Wembanyama's height. Holy shit. I'm scared of that. Not scared
Than anyone I had ever seen. Her head almost touched the ceiling. She wore a long white dress that moved even though the air was still. Her hair was black and stringy, and her face was pale like chalk. Her eyes were like empty black holes. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. I shut my eyes, and when I opened them again, she was gone, but my closet door was wide open. After that, I couldn't go in my closet anymore. I begged my mom to let me sleep in her room, but she said I need to learn how to be brave. I think she didn't want to.
You're telling me to be brave for a bitch that looks like this? You're telling me to be brave when a bitch looks like this? I would have ran away. I would have run away right there. I would have run away. Not coming back home. Sorry, brother. When you move out the house, if you figure out what the fuck is wrong, why we have this white lady coming to see us and trying to do, I don't know what they're trying to do, but when you figure out, I'll come back home.
black holes. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. I shut my eyes, and when I opened them again, she was gone, but my closet door was wide open. After that, I couldn't go in my closet anymore. I begged my mom to let me sleep in her room, but she said I need to learn how to be brave. I think she didn't want to admit she was scared too. The worst night came during a storm.
You're supposed to be my mother. You're supposed to protect me. You're older than me. Protect me. And our 4-year-old, my 4-year-old brother and your 4-year-old son. Protect us. Damn.
Heavy rain and loud wind. I woke up to the sound of my window creaking. When I looked, the window was slowly sliding open, even though it was locked. I could see the lock turning by itself. The window opened all the way, and I saw the white lady climb in. She didn't move like a person. She floated. Her feet never touched the floor. She drifted toward my bed and leaned down until her face was right in front of mine. I felt her cold breath on my skin. She whispered my name again, and this time I screamed as loud as I could. My mom and stepdad came running in, but when they turned on the light, the window was closed and locked, and no one else was there. They yelled at me for scaring everyone, but I could see in their faces that they were worried. The weird thing about that part of the story is that I don't vividly remember what happened between the moment I saw that lady floating towards me and my screaming. The best I can explain it is that I sort of blacked out for a moment before remembering screaming and having my parents rush into the room. My window was closed again, which would suggest to people that it was just a night terror. That's what my parents believed it was, I think. My mom started taking me to therapy for a while because they were worried about me. We lived in that house for 3 more years, and I never got used to it. My brother stopped talking about the white lady, but I think it was because he was too scared, not because she stopped visiting. Sometimes I would hear him crying at night and saying, "Go away." I think he just also didn't want to be forced into going to therapy. Sometimes when it storms at night, I still get scared to even get up to go to the bathroom or get water. I'll glance over at corners of the room, making sure I don't see something tall lurking there. It goes to show how these kinds of things stick with you into adulthood. I'd be more open to believing it was simply night terrors if it weren't for the fact that I saw that hand on my window before my little brother even first mentioned the white lady. I guess this is just one of those freakish experiences that cannot be explained.
Story 3, the last one. Name's John.
I rode my bike every day after school. I lived on a quiet street with small houses and big trees. I learned every crack in the sidewalk. I learned where the mailman stopped. One house I liked was down the block. I had to ride near the corner of the block to get a view of the yard. There was a long driveway and a wide lawn. An older man stood in that driveway most afternoons. He'd always wear a hat, and he'd stand where the driveway met the sidewalk and look down the street. When I rode by, he would say hi. He never came onto the sidewalk.
I don't know what kind of place is this right here, but I ain't gonna lie. Let's be honest. This look like a beautiful ass place. I ain't gonna cop with y'all. This looks so beautiful. This look like I could play football, soccer right here on my yard. Have good neighbors. How you doing, neighbor? Can I get a part of the sugar? Like, bro, but I feel like there's no park or nothing here. I don't know.
He never stepped off his driveway. He would call out and wave and then go back to watching his yard. I always waved back. My mother told me to never cross the street by myself, so I never crossed to actually speak to the man face to face, and the man knew that. He would call to me from his place and ask about school. He would ask about my bike. He asked if I liked the bell on my new red bike. I even remember once he told me a joke about a cat that made me laugh. We talked for weeks like that. The conversations were short. They were always from his driveway to the curb. He seemed to know small things about me without me saying them. For example, the fact that I had a little brother, or my dad got a new car. I never told him these things. I thought maybe he had seen us from down the block or something, like he was just a neighbor who watched the street. One day I got a brand new bike. It was red with a shiny bell, like I mentioned before. I rode down the block slow, and he called out, "Nice bike." He asked if I wanted to race to the corner. I told him no because my mom would be angry. He smiled and said one day. After that, we talked about small things. He told me about...
I think I would have never talked to him after that. I ain't gonna count with you. One day, like I don't know how he said it. Like it'd be like maybe one day, but he didn't say it like that. He maybe said it like one day, like
2 hours later.
Alright, I'm sorry everybody. There was something wrong with my computer and everything. I had to wait. My computer was messing up, but something happened to my computer. It just shut down and all that. Okay, I got everything fixed. I found the video that I was reacting to like 3 or 2 days ago. I don't know how long it been. Yeah, but we're gonna try to finish this reaction.
I told him no because my mom would be angry. He smiled and said one day. After that, we talked about...
Yeah, the creepy nigga.
Small
that nigga
things.
said one day.
He told me about a bird that liked his fence, and then about a rule about never stepping on a certain stone. Then he told me a story about a dog that would always bring a slipper back. He sounded like someone who had time to watch small things.
Yeah.
I started looking for him when I was on my bike.
Why would you start with
Some afternoons he was there and sometimes he wasn't. Then one week, he stopped coming out.
Oh, shit.
I rode down the block past the house and no one stood there. The curtains in the front window were closed. I slowed down and looked at the driveway, and it was kind of weird not seeing the man there. I wanted to ask my mother if I could cross the street. She said no. She said the road was not for unsupervised kids. Anyway, a few days later, I saw a woman in the backyard of that house. I had never seen anyone in that yard before. I had to ride around the corner to see her. She had her hair tied back, and she held a watering can, so I had to assume she was watering flowers back there. I stopped my bike down the street so she would not see me too close. I wanted to call across the road like I always did, but I didn't. I don't know if I was too shy or scared of what my mother would say if I were staying out too late. The woman didn't seem to notice me any more than I noticed her, though. A few days later, I rode by again, and the woman was on the back porch. She had a mug in her hands.
Oh, hell no.
I sat on my bike and watched for a bit. Then she opened a small side door and went around the house. I pedaled slowly to the corner and waited where the sidewalk curved.
Okay.
I looked down the block just to ensure my mom wasn't outside. Then I decided I would quickly cross the street. I pushed my pedals and crossed like my life depended on it. The house looked bigger from up close. The driveway was long and sloped down to the road. I felt like I was not allowed to be there.
You should not.
I stopped at the end of the driveway near the back gate. The woman heard me. She turned and saw a small boy with a red bike standing at the gate. She looked surprised, but not angry. She came to the gate and opened it, and she asked what I was doing back there. I told her about the man on the driveway, and that he would used to say hi when I would bike past. I told her he knew my name, and that he said he would race me one day. She wiped her hands on her dress like she had been working, and then said the man I described sounded like her husband. I smiled, thinking she would say he went on a trip or he's inside and she'll go get him, but she didn't smile. She said he had died the year before. She said he died in his chair. His name was Harold. I felt a cold space open in my chest. I asked her if she had a picture. I wanted to see him. She went inside and returned with a small frame. The photograph showed a man with the same hat and the same broad smile. He actually bore a resemblance to the man I'd always seen.
Oh.
Then the woman said the photo was new, taken only a couple of years ago. She said her husband had a scar across his cheek since he was young. I looked at the photo close, and the man in the picture had a thin, pale scar from ear to mouth. I remembered the man on the driveway. He had no scar. He had a round, plain face and smooth skin. The hat matched and the smile matched, but the scar did not. I told her I once saw a mark on the man's face, but I thought he rubbed his cheek once. She said that that scar had been there for a long time, but that he'd hide it under stubble sometimes. She said again that her husband had died and that no one else lived in the house. She said she had moved back last summer to take care of the garden, and that she's never seen or heard anyone standing in the driveway. I honestly started to get kind of scared at this point.
I would have been scared too.
I thanked her and backed down the driveway. I didn't look back into the yard again. I rode home slow and put the bike in the garage. The bike ride back was kind of like how when you almost get into a car accident, you'll drive home the rest of the way in silence with the radio off.
Oh, shit.
My mom didn't ask any questions when I got home. She just told me to be careful. That night I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I thought about the man with the hat.
That's crazy.
I thought about his laugh and the way he said my name, and I thought about the scar in the photograph. The next day, I went by the house and the curtains were open. Sunlight touched the porch and driveway, but no one stood in the driveway. I waved from the corner, but no one waved back, so I pedaled away. For a while, nothing else happened. I tried to forget. I made new routes on my bike. I talked with kids on other blocks.
Okay.
Weeks passed. Then one night, I woke up and heard my name. It sounded like someone outside the house near my window. The voice was familiar. It said my name like the man across the street used to say it. I sat up fast and my head started spinning. Over the light sound of raindrops outside, I knew for a fact I was hearing my name being repeatedly called. I shouted for my mother and then threw the covers over myself, hiding. She came in a hurry and sat by the bed. I told her about the voice outside my window. She rubbed my back and told me it was the wind. To make me feel better, she went to the window and lifted the blinds. She said there wasn't anyone out there, so I went over to check myself.
But don't do it, bro.
There was a light rain outside, but other than that, my mom was right. My father got up and checked the locks to the windows and doors.
Okay.
He looked outside with a flashlight, which made me feel better. They said there was no one out there. When I insisted I heard a voice, they said perhaps the most typical thing a parent would say to a scared child.
What would they say?
That I dreamed it. The next morning, my throat...
I don't like when parents say that. I don't know how many times that when I was watching this and said this, because I told you this is like 3 days later and I'm trying to finish this. I don't know how many times I heard a parent say, it's just a dream, like you just dream it. No, bitch, I did not dream it. Go check that shit out. I mean, I understand some kids do dream some shit, okay? But if they keep hearing it or something, you have to take action. Like, you got
hurt from shouting the night before. I told my friends at school, and they laughed at me for implying I believed in ghosts. One friend dared me to stand in the driveway of that house at night and call his name. I did not take that dare.
Yeah, I was about to say,
days
nigga,
passed and nothing happened, so I moved on. The years went on, and the street changed. Houses sold, and the woman's house stood empty for a little while. I once saw movers taking boxes out. Later on, new people were painting the front. The long driveway was still there, but it had new cars. I rode past and did not look for a man in a hat. I got older. I learned other routes. I learned the names of new neighbors and their dogs. And eventually, at the age of 18, I moved out for college.
Okay.
I never moved back to that house because my parents sold it while I was in college. But the memory of that man sits like a small stone in my chest. I wonder why I didn't ask the woman for more pictures or go back to press her for more details. I guess in that moment, I was scared to wonder if I'd been talking to a ghost. I didn't cross that street again for a long time. I told this story to 1 or 2 people later in life, and they even asked why I didn't go back and ask that woman more, or why I didn't tell the woman everything I remembered. Maybe they were right. Maybe I should have been braver.
I don't know about
Maybe I should have asked more questions about the scar, or to see a wedding photo.
Maybe,
but I was 8. I wasn't really thinking that way.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I drove down the block just for the hell of it. A child was riding a bike near the corner. The driveway was empty. For a moment, I wanted to stop. I wanted to ask if anyone had stood there and said hi. I wanted to know if anyone else had heard a voice in the rain. I wanted a small answer that would close the gap. But I didn't stop. I just kept driving. The memory stays as it was, and I try my best to suppress it these days.
Shout out to Mr. Nightmare, bro. Y'all have to subscribe to Mr. Nightmare, man. This man is like, he gets the great stories. Like, and I wanted to hurry up and get this video done because, you know, I told y'all it's been like 3 or 2 days after. So this was a good video. I loved it. But yeah, that's the end of this reaction. I'm sorry that I look crooked. You know, I told you it's broken. But yeah, I'm going to react to way more scary videos and stuff. I'm going to be playing Apex back again. If you want to see that, and UFL back again, and a lot of other scary games. And I'm going to be playing Roblox games. So yeah, like the video, subscribe. I'll see all of y'all on the flip side. Check one of them videos on the side. I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.